Shalom to my people out there. This is just a brief, well, I don't know if it's going to be brief, but this is a message to my fellow brothers and sisters who are getting caught up in this Egyptology and ancient Kemet. Uh, the black woman is God, the Ankh uh, stuff that seems to be making a wave throughout the black community, so-called black community. It's like either, it's see, the thing is, the enemy has captured our minds to the point so much where we're so, not only physically, we're scattered all over the world. We got black folks in Russia, we got black folks in China, we got black folks in Europe, Madagascar, we got black folks in Puerto Rico, Mexico, Brazil, Haiti, Jamaica, Hawaii, Canada. We all over this map. We have been scattered. The Hebrews. We're the Hebrews. I'm using the byword black for those who don't understand that we are Hebrews, but I know that we are Hebrews. We are scattered physically all over this map, and also spiritually and mentally we're scattered as well. Spiritually, we got the blacks that are Muslims, Christians. We have the Afrocentric Egypt worshiping black people. We have the Jehovah Witness black people. Our spirit has been scattered as well. We don't even know who we belong to anymore. The strong delusion. But first, I'm gonna just focus on the spirit of the Afrocentric beliefs that my people are being suckered into. They're following the ways of old Egypt. Yes, Egypt was a black nation. There were dark people. They were not white. Egypt, when they reigned and ruled supreme, and they, was building these extravagant monuments and temples and pyramids, and they were living in luxury. Though that was a dark nation, but they wasn't our people. They are from the seed of Ham. If you know the Bible, you know that Noah had 3 sons: Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And long story short, his seeds went on to create nations after their kind. And the nation of Ham, the Hamites, were ruling in Egypt, and they had the Shemites, the children of Shem, Israel, in bondage in Egypt. So this is a dark nation enslaving another dark nation. Because once upon a time, it was nothing but dark people on the planet, brown people. And that's a different scenario for a different time. But it was, this nation of Egypt had Israel in bondage and slave, and was beating them and making them serve hard labor, and not giving them money, no food, barely even enough food to survive. A lot of them was dying by the wayside from heat, strokes, and starvation. They were treating us cruel, very cruel. And we were pleading with them to have mercy on us until, the story of Moses. He came, the Most High chose him to lead his people out of Egypt. Now fast forward here today, we have African Americans who don't know they're Hebrews following the ways of the oppressors of Egypt. The same people that had us in slavery, had us in bondage, had us in chains, treated us like dirt underneath their shoes. They killed and murdered us at mass numbers. They, sacrificed our children. They, did all types of horrible things to us. Here we are studying their religion and calling on their gods, the god of Amun-Ra and Osiris and Isis. Here we are, we got black people, we got Hebrews going back to the ways of Egypt. And it's so funny, because the Most High told us not to go back into Egypt again. Don't you look back. Don't you study their ways. Don't you pray and worship after their gods and their idols. And look at us being disobedient here again today, 2016. Got all these black folks saying a black woman is God, and studying ancient Kemet, and studying Egyptian culture and the old ways of Africa. The same folk who had us in slavery, those are not our people. Don't you know, if you go to certain parts of Africa today, they don't even like us. They still don't like us to this day. And here we are, being disobedient and hard-headed, looking at other gods instead of looking up to the one Elohim, the one Adonai, who is the true Savior of Israel, and crying out to him and worshiping him only, and giving him honor and homage and praise, and trusting in him for our salvation. No, we got to look after everything else and say, oh, we're gods. We are gods. We created all this. We are black goddesses, and we have spiritual power that we can overcome this and that. If we have so much black power, how is it we got in captive in the first place? How is it we got sold and stolen from our own lands, and beaten, whipped, and raped, and pillaged and plundered, and you name it? Our babies being fed to the alligators, and our men being castrated. How is it, if we had so much black power, that we were able to go through oppression for many of years, and still to this day we're at the bottom of the barrel, scraping to get by, being killed by the wayside left and right, being thrown into prisons, being in bondage again. And it's maybe a different type of bondage, but it's still bondage nevertheless. How is it? Don't you see that we have no strength in our hands? We are not the children of Egypt. We are not the children of Ham. We are the Hebrews. And if we continue to look to their gods, we will be destroyed. We will continue to be in bondage. We are supposed to be looking to the Most High Yahoshua only. He is the Savior. You have no strength in your hands. Without him, you are nothing. If you're such a black god and goddess, why are you struggling to pay rent? I don't know a god that has to struggle to pay rent, that can barely get by, barely can feed yourself, barely can clothe yourself, but you a god, you a queen, you a king. Don't fall into the ways of ancient Egypt. They were idolaters. They studied witchcraft. They prayed to demons. They erected statues after Baal and worshiped Baal and Satan, the devil. They were devil worshippers, worshiping statues and gods made of wood and stone. That's why when Moses came before Pharaoh and threw down his rod and it turned into the snake, the Egyptian magicians did the same exact thing, but they was doing it with the power of demons. Moses was doing it with the power of the Most High. So the limited power that they did have and what they did do, achieving great things,